Nice timing.
Yes, thank you.
In mid-season form.
Oh yeah, we're ramping quick this year. We're going bigger, better. Maybe it'll be your soundboard. My mouse is broken today, so there might be technical difficulties.
Already making excuses. I
see
how it is.
It is. It's literally like trying to scroll constantly, like the scroll wheel's broken. So we'll see what happens. We're week 0 here. The post-draft special. First guest of the year, Mr. Joe Ellenboss, joining us on Tuesdays with Drake. I think it was a good draft all around. We have a lot of different strategies. Joe, as I believe, Nat, you have some fun facts to share about Joe's particular picks in this draft this year.
Yes, several months ago, I dug through our group chat because apparently I have a bunch of extra time on my hands. And because I remember you saying some things about some players that some people like and others don't. And what we came up with was that your first round pick, I believe, was Karl Anthony Towns, correct? And I think, and you were the one to make the big leap for Ben Simmons, which turned out not to be any amount of leap at all. We'll talk about it.
I had information.
But
yeah, we'll talk about
it. Here's what you said. You said Ben Simmons is now my least favorite player, surpassing Karl Anthony Towns.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel to have your 2 least favorite players on your team? I just want to open with that question. I say that as someone who has also betrayed my fandom values. So please go on.
Oh, sure. I can do this easily. The cat reference was just to make T-Sack mad because I knew that he loved it. That was it.
I don't love Cat. I love his fantasy production.
Yeah, but I knew you had felt a certain way towards him. So that's the only reason I said his name. I don't actually hate him at all. The second thing, Simmons
backtracking it, walking it back.
Did do the worst playoff performance of all time, and then keeps going on Instagram thinking with shooting drills like, "What are you doing?" So that annoys the hell out of me. Yet he produces good regular season stats, and so in the 6th round, I was like, "Oh, I'll take some of those good regular season stats, especially since I had established the best free throw percentage in my team, so I didn't need his trash free throws."
Question though, so since you lied about hating Cat, is Simmons actually your least favorite player in the league?
No, he's not either. Yeah.
Who is your least favorite player? Just curious. Man of no values.
I don't know. I actively root against LeBron, but that's because he's not the GOAT. And
we're not going there.
Don't take that bait.
We are not going there. No.
Do you see a pattern here with the things I say?
Who in your belief that you hate the most, not just because it will piss somebody else off, but who you actively dislike the most? And if your answer's not Kyrie, I don't know what to do with you.
Well, no, Kyrie thinking the earth is flat and believing in no science is very aggravating. But him as a player, when he's playing in the game, do I watch a Brooklyn game? Of course I do. So that it can't be that can't be the player. And Simmons, it's just his playoff performance. And it was my whole argument throughout the summer when we were talking about hypothetical trades was, do you want this guy in the playoffs on your roster? And the answer is no. And you can't convince me otherwise.
Well,
so he needs to get traded to a trash team that was not going to be in the playoffs so he can get his value back and then maybe learn how to shoot a jumper.
Well, since the fans weren't on our personal text threads to have all this background, moral story, you hate nobody. You hate nobody.
He also never answered the question.
Yeah, you don't actually hate anybody.
Give me an answer, Joseph.
I wasn't prepared to come in with my hate.
Well, we didn't know you lied to us, so we then had to dive in here. So you threw us off with your actual.
Hey, here's the thing. We're gonna go over people's teams here in the draft. I'm gonna have some people I hate, so we'll go. We'll just go. Okay. How about that? I'll go. Boom. Guy I hate.
All right.
There we go.
We'll remember some guys you hate. Then.
Well, since we're talking about Ben Simmons, like we really need to just rehash this insanity because nobody. This hasn't been talked about enough. Clearly,
me drafting him.
No, the timeline.
The timeline of how this all happened. So I looked it up, and it was like 9:30 in the morning Central Time, whatever, 7:30 Pacific. Woj was like, "Well, it seems like they're starting to do better.
Yeah.
And maybe he'll return at some point. And then 12 hours later, Ben Simmons is in Philadelphia.
Well,
And-
no, but yes.
No, there was no tweet in between.
No, there wasn't. Not from Roach, but Shams did one. And then I was on the NBA message. I was on the NBA Reddit message boards.
Nerd.
It was after yesterday afternoon because I was doing
Nerd
well.
alert.
I was last minute cramming. It's how I dealt with every test throughout all my degrees. It's like, yes, I have more than
Zach,
one.
if you don't have a joke related to last minute cramming, then we're not friends anymore. So do you
Throw it in. I love
It's a family
to throw
show.
it up.
It's a family show.
Oh no.
Yeah, you can still be tasteful.
Yeah.
There's ways to do it.
I'll do it. Last minute cramming of your mom, Nat. All
Oh,
right,
there it
here we
is.
go.
Thank you. God,
That's not
all I asked for was a
tasteful.
little bit of blue humor, and here we are.
All right, so let's go. Let's dive into people's drafts. Are we going to do that, or we want to go over Simmons?
You're just
Because
really excited.
I saw it early in the afternoon. I saw.
No, you
and then
couldn't
I
have
saw-
seen it early. No, stop. You couldn't have seen it early in the afternoon because the definitive tweet was 6:30 Pacific. It was
No.
during the draft.
Yes, I didn't know he was in Philadelphia.
Yes, I know
but
that.
I did know that his representatives, because that was reported, had reached out to say he needs.
We
to get
all knew
back.
They
that.
were talking again.
We all
Yeah,
knew that.
Everybody knew
No,
that.
But-
and he was going to go back. It was scheduled for later in the week, but he showed up that night.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
exactly.
reported.
But he showed up that night at 9:00
But
our time.
In the
he
middle
was
of the
scheduled
draft.
to come on for Thursday or Friday, and he showed up 3 days early. The fact that he
No.
was showing up this week means he's going to play this season, and
Mm.
so I was like, okay, around
You-
6-7, I'm going to draft him.
Yeah. But the 6:30 tweet makes him a 6th round debatable pick versus a 3rd round auto pick. Like for anybody in the draft. That's
Yeah,
the
but
point
I
we're
wasn't
trying
drafting
to make.
him. But I wasn't drafting him before the 6th.
No, I know
anyway.
you weren't, but
Because of
nobody,
my-
everybody would
the
have.
point-
Because of my
point
hatred
that's
for his
being-
playoff performance.
The point that's being made is that were this draft to be held 2 hours later, he would have been a 2nd or 3rd round pick.
Yes,
Oh,
without
you-
question.
not on my team though.
Well,
No, we don't
that's-
care about your team.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about.
I
in
would have
general.
taken him. I would have taken him 3rd round if it was
Yeah.
Oh,
like
really?
guaranteed.
He wouldn't have made it out of the
absolutely.
second
But
round.
I got the steal of the draft just
Yes.
because I was paying attention to my Twitter.
No,
just because of random whatever happened, and it wasn't reported. I just looked it up. I couldn't find anything that said any of that.
everybody
I-
was going to take him that round though. Like you,
Yeah.
you picked him first. Like props.
Yes, which is great.
But everybody else, like he was on the board and ready to go. But
Here's the
Yep.
thing, guys.
100%.
Absolutely was. the
I
steal
would have
of the
taken
draft,
him
though.
like-
That's fine. And you guys were going to take him early. That's great. You know what? I already won the draft before the 6th round, so this is fine that you guys are talking about it. So let's keep going.
Oh
Keep going.
boy. Please
Big-
tell me- Okay, save that one for later.
big fat takes.
Save that one for later, just in case.
I am in fighting mood because I feel really good about last night. Let's go.
All right. Because you're so fucking ready to go. Let's just.
Do you have like some Kendrick Lamar humble you could play in the back? You put that in post.
Oh no.
Maybe.
Maybe you go old school, some Tribe or Roots.
I appreciate that you're obsessed with Tribe, but like it's before my time, and I'm not gonna go there.
Roots,
Anyway.
De La Soul, little.
Do any of those have songs about being
There's-
humble? Because
there's-
that's what I'm going for. Okay.
Do you want me to be
go through it.
humble?
No. Anyway.
It was a joke about how you were not humble.
Oh my goodness.
Goodness.
You're
Whoosh.
killing me, Joe.
All right, let's go.
Unsurprisingly, as predicted, Jokic did go first. Doncic second. I think that was the second pick was surprising to me, but I want to hear if other people think it's surprising. Or
I believe that was an auto pick.
No,
oh,
no, it wasn't. It wasn't Otto.
was he
Otto
auto
would have
already?
been. Otto would have been Cat.
No,
No,
Otto didn't draft based on our rankings. It drafted based
No,
on
on the
Yes, it
generic
was.
rankings.
Doncic was
No, it
2 of
wasn't.
the X rank.
Yeah,
Yes, it was.
Cat was
Don't
not
argue.
a top.
We did look at it.
Yeah, Cat was not a top 5 pick in the normal.
Cat's like
rankings.
8th in the
So
normal.
and his poop man is Peter, and so Peter just didn't do pre-rankings.
He was not
So
on the draft.
That's just a.
He
fair
was
one.
unavailable.
It's
and
not
it
a
was
terrible
drafted
pick.
him.
Was he unavailable to do pre-rankings 2 weeks before,
Oh my god.
Yes.
Clearly,
Nobody
yes.
does pre-rankings 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
or the day before, or the morning
Nobody,
before?
Joe, like we're having a fun league here. Not, I mean, I did because I'm a giant nerd.
I
and
mean,
got stuff
Joe's
better to
coming
do.
for
So did
scouts
I.
right now.
No, wait. Here's the thing: if you're going to be in a draft
Joe,
and you don't show up, at least do your pre-rankings.
You already said you were sitting on Reddit message boards for hours before the draft. You are an order of magnitude more prepared than any other person in this
my
league.
last meeting of the day opened up at like 3 p.m. No, listen, 3 p.m. I jumped on the bike and I did my Peloton because I'm an old guy, and then I checked emails and I checked Reddit boards while I was biking. So I was multitasking.
Anyway.
Burning some calories, buddies.
Anyway, so
I do approve of your team name, however.
Oh, my rename?
Yes.
I'm very pro Gator low key in general.
You big on Marvel? Can we do a Marvel side tangent at the end of this pod just to mess with Trizak?
No.
Okay.
Anyway, I appreciate your cat number 3. You listened to us, but that was like, I was actually surprised that you actually picked cat. So like, I think that's going to be good for you. Otherwise, first round kind of fine, like normal. Durant at 9, I thought was surprising for our league, but like I get it, I guess.
Well,
but he is good at basketball.
He is good at basketball.
When he's on the floor.
You're right in our league, but his projected stats in our league were really good.
Yeah, I mean he's like it's not, he's like a second round pick for sure.
No, I think he was 9 in our league.
He was 21.
Yeah, he was not 9.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you looking at this? I need to please.
There's 2 sets of rankings, and you have to click it a certain way to get it to rankings. And anyway,
it shows up on the phone much easier. Than
it doesn't. Yeah, you have to do like a complicated thing on the computer to do it. Okay. Anyway, so moving on, we have Gobert was the big drop in according to our stats. He was 3rd, and he went second round.
Well, and
to you was also a fall because he was ranked as 5th, I believe, or 6th.
Yeah, something like that. And so like that, and Sabonis, that those 3 I feel like are all kind of like equivalent, like quality. Just they're all different, like best. Like Sabonis, you get some triple double.
I was pretty stoked to get Sabonis there. He was my. I was gonna go. I had 2 plans. I was either gonna go Bam, and maybe like Paul George or Butler. Or I was going to go Curry and Sabonis. And so I got
Sabonis is a very much you guys pick.
Sabonis was amazing last season.
He was the 2nd best player in our.
I know. I'm just saying he's a very good you guys pick.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Like Capella gets you offensive rebounds, Gobert gets you blocks, Sabonis gets you triple doubles, but other production, they're roughly equivalent. So like it'll be an interesting review of those 3 picks. Mm-hmm. The LeBron pick was a huge reach. That was an interesting one.
And then, so just so you know, just to rewind to catch us a little bit, Chris visited my home on Saturday morning and we had a brief discussion, and it made me go back into the stats for Saturday, and I kind of like dove into like the advanced stats a little more, and I redid my top 30 of my pre-rankings because I'm not a moron like Peter. Boom, brought it back full circle.
Wow. Don't call the people morons because they didn't do pre-rankings. That's not fair.
I wasn't a fully committed league member like Peter.
So moral story, I basically ruined my own draft by telling you how to draft correctly.
No, because I would have drafted Giannis there, and so would have drafted. I don't know if we would have learned it.
That still would have been fine.
Your first 3 picks are like, we were actually, I think, in the prior show talking. George is a good pick. And Butler, I was actually hoping for in my side, so I was sad that Butler went.
Actually, no, it didn't ruin it because I had Jokic, Towns, Giannis in my rankings, and then after our discussion, I dropped Giannis quite a bit. And then when Doncic got picked 2nd, I got Cat. So that wasn't a change from after our discussion. I had moved Cat the week before. Yeah. Rankings are fluid, guys. You got to go back. You can't just not go. First of all, Peter.
I picked Michael Porter Jr.
You got to keep going back in. The more information you get.
I get it. I mean, I picked Michael Porter Jr. at 3rd, which I was not expecting, but like, I actually felt it was. I
didn't expect you to do it either.
Yeah, nobody.
Me neither. Yeah, that was.
You want to talk about your reasoning? It was at least 2 rounds earlier than I would have seen anyone take it.
I think there's upside. Well, he is ranking for the
he was ranked 25 in the pre-rank.
I do think, so 2 things. One, he shoots a high percentage. So for his position, I was sort of leaning on percentages. 2, I think he's got upside. And 3, I picked him being like my scoring sort of pick guy because I picked 2 bigs. I went since I went Ayton Capella, and I didn't want to pick, and I thought I had rounds to pick some point guards and flashy guys. I was like, okay, I'll go Porter Jr. That felt like a good pick to me at the time. And then everybody picked all the point guards in the next 2 rounds. And that strategy completely devolved, which was what happened to me. So I got no good point guards. Because I was laying for either Paul or Halliburton or Lonzo were my targets for the point guard situation. And they all got picked much earlier or in a different order than I was expecting. So
Joseph, I'm very upset at you for picking Halliburton. I'm gonna be upset all season.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
I love him so much. I've loved him the whole time. I tried to make a draft bet with someone that he was going to be rookie of the year, and no one would do it with me.
That's true.
Your 3 through 6 picks all made me very mad. Like DeJounte.
So George and Butler to me were guys that did everything and they still got scoring. And I felt like I did enough prep that you need to have at least 3 20-point a game scorers in the first 3 rounds. Otherwise you can't get it later. Then 4 and 5, I was like, well, I need point guards now. And so I wanted point guards that lean towards boards. And so those 2 are the top of the boards besides Westbrook, who I don't want because he actually might be number one hated person is
there
Russell
it is.
Westbrook.
There we go. Now we're getting into it. Yeah. Very good. Continue.
So that just to bring it back, what Westbrook is definitely the top cream of the crop for all you. Well, I'm going to say it again, morons that voted for him for MVP. It includes YouTube morons. All right.
Oh my God.
I was on the right side of history.
We're going to cut you off for that. The one I do want to point out here, which I thought was very interesting, Mikey, contract year Bamba, round 3-4 back-to-back Mitchell Booker, which I thought was a very bad set of picks, personally.
It wasn't great, but it was kind of leaning on what he already had established with Lillard, but it made his team go in a completely bad direction. That's the mistake I made last year. It was doing a Booker, somebody else in round 3 combo, and it made my draft strategy go out the window.
Yes.
He didn't learn from me. What was he doing?
He's waiting for all the magic to get picked.
Yep. All of those first picks were irrelevant because later he was going to get the Magic, who were going to be carrying his team to victory, obviously.
Yes. Any other interesting?
What's interesting is he said victory, even though he ended up in last place last year. If you guys don't remember, final standing.
I mean, he's drafting half for fun, half for victory. Like he can't do it without the other angle.
There's a lot of talk last night. That's all I'm saying.
I'm trying to see if there's any other interesting picks.
Well, what's interesting from Nat down here on the screen is round 6 picking an injured guy.
Yep, that was a mistake. I picked the wrong Raptors injured guy.
Oh no.
My phone bricked and I was trying to pick Siakam and I couldn't, and my phone froze and I couldn't get to it. And it picked him for me.
And then what? So he didn't make it back to you, Siakam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just was interesting that I was about to say, why did he go before Siakam? And
that was not my intention.
Why would you pick either before a few rounds later? Because they're both not going to play till Christmas.
Siakam's a stash
week. Boucher's back next week. They just said it today.
Yeah, and Siakam's a good stash.
Well, no, I read a note today. It was 3 to 4 weeks. He had surgery.
No, it would that was 2 weeks ago. It's now days.
Oh.
Anyway, doesn't matter. It wasn't my intention. I love him. He's a homer pick. He went to the University of Oregon. I moved him up the thing too high, and so it autoed him, and I didn't mean to pick him. I wanted to pick Siakam. So that was my big mistake of the day. But hopefully it won't kill me. We'll see. I feel confident about my top 4 or 5 guys they were all people I wanted and at the value that I wanted them. So I'm happy with those.
Yeah, I'm not mad about my team, but I'm looking back. I think I would think I ended up too middle road, and so I'm gonna be. It'll be curious to see what my performance is. I did some stats. Is this showing up the Excel? Probably not.
Nope.
All right. Well, I gotta bring that up.
Technical difficulties.
No, I just got you. I did some stat checking, so I just kind of combined everybody's projected stats. Joe did end up on top, unfortunately.
Look at that.
Unsurprisingly, this is a little biased if for rookies there's no stats. So, who is last? Mike is last, mostly because his team is half rookies. So it's probably not fair to Mike. And then I was mid pack, so like lower is better. So I was basically halfway between Mikey and Joe. And then where were you? You and I were
like
basically
8.
the same, Nat.
Yeah,
you and I are basically the same.
Yep.
So I think what
That's
that tells us is that means we're gonna be good because
the league told me I was gonna be second to last year when we did this.
Yes.
So
But
maybe
like
second to last. Who knows? Anything can happen. Basically, if people all that matters is if people are on the court. Like if
So is a 1 mean you're going to win the stat category?
one is
one is good.
Basically your summed average production from your team is the best in the category. So like you're winning steals and you're kind of good across the board. Whereas like for me, I'm good outside of assists and points and like sort of okay in a couple places. First in turnovers, which is my pet thing.
You have the most centers, so that makes sense.
I don't at all. Not even
No,
close.
he has like no centers.
I'm actually light on centers. So the most centers goes to Chris, who drafted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 centers.
I think both Chris and my friend Danny, who is Big Stack, both are starting 6 centers.
Okay, riddle me this. So some of these changed from last season. Jokic is listed as a 4-5, which is absolutely ridiculous and really is not fair. And then but Zion is just a 4, also ridiculous.
Bam, he's point guard too.
But like
he's basically their point guard now.
It's silly that he's one position.
It's where they start though.
It is, but they usually give guys positions like that they play.
It's just it's silly that he's one position. Like Jokic is not a 4.
I'm guessing Jokic is there because obviously Denver this season is getting ready to unveil their Twin Tower plan of starting him alongside Bol.
Yeah, oh god.
So I think that the Yahoo just knew that already.
Yeah, that one just blows my mind. Like I get if like Miles Turner's a 4-5 or like Bam, I get it as a 4-5. It's sort of still generous, but like if Gobert and Valanciunas and Vooch if Vooch is a 5, then Jokic is a 5. Like it's silly. But yeah, no, actually I only have 3 centers because they were all gone. Like my foray into wings potentially early in the draft when nobody was picking them meant everybody picked all the centers and point guards. So then I got none and I got all the wings. So if anybody needs a wing for a center or a point guard, let me know. That's my trade
open
pitch.
for business.
Open for business. So yeah, I we'll see. This is gonna be an interesting season because we have a lot of very unbalanced teams, like teams that are very stacked on certain dimensions and not. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens this season. Last season, I feel like we had a lot of kind of half balance in the teams, and that's just not the case this season.
I think a lot of people kind of understand the system better this time. And,
I agree.
And went heavy on it.
Yeah, I think that's probably correct. Or at least tried to find a lane and claim it, and then went there. And I think actually,
there's definitely some people who are going to win like their stat category by so much, and then lose every other one because they've specialized a lot.
Yeah, I do expect because of this. My projection is we will actually see some trades this season at a decent rate rather than no trades like last year. Like we had
I
one
hope
trade.
so. I love trades.
All right, Joe, any other draft analyses? Who's so since you
Well, are we
obviously
gonna
think
go
you
into
drafted the
specific
best team.
teams? Are we going to go to people's teams or what?
Oh, we're looking at him. We don't want to can't go team by team, but
Who are you as the projected number one guy most scared of
yes,
as opponent?
Who's making you quiver in your boots?
I don't think he's paying attention.
I haven't looked at it through that perspective.
Who do you think drafted the best team that's not you?
Who is second most built for the playoffs?
Hold on. Oh, I wasn't ready for it.
What? How did you not have that queued up?
I'm sorry.
Come on, man.
You just have to
the past,
qualify
the past.
for the playoffs. My team is built for the long haul. That's why I drafted it.
Hey, it actually became true. I won 5 to 6 games in a row in the last 2 months. I just had buried the hole so deep that I was not coming back.
And we did make fun of you.
Yeah, we also did note that take may have been correct, but you just got to get through the regular season first.
You were too built for the playoffs.
Too built.
I was built. One ball all net. I know they auto drafted for some of them, or maybe they didn't.
They didn't.
Did Amy? Was she there the whole time?
I believe it was Amy's boyfriend.
I like what he did.
I'm very happy about not getting Julius Randle.
It's so injury prone. It's like literally the most injury prone team.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's correct.
But I mean, if LeBron plays a lot, they're going to be good. Because I like some values late. Well, Amy, I guess I'm not going to give boyfriend for now credit. Lonzo Ball, DeMar in 6-7, and Draymond at 8, and even Derek White 9. I just really like the value of those 4.
I
don't
mad.
really like Randall and Nurkic, who's 4 or 5, but 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, oh my gosh, that's a really good for mid round. And then Barrett in round 11 was really good value too. I can't believe I didn't pick him. I mean, I just think he's getting better every year. And that's kind of a guy you want to take in round 11. I
was really, really mad. Like Lonzo was my pick, and it was right before that. Like the Harris me taking Harris instead of a point guard and then not getting Lonzo kind of ruined my plan. I was very mad about Lonzo going right before me.
And then the dude who drafted 8 centers, where's my sandwich? I like his team as well. He doesn't have any assists or threes.
Got LaMelo.
What?
LaMelo for assists and CJ.
Yeah, that's just one guy. I mean, he doesn't really. He doesn't have the.
He's going to just win everything else.
But if he can win I mean, he's going to lose free throws, assists, threes, and maybe even points. So that he's throwing out 4 out the window. So if you can edge him in blocks or field goal percentage, then he's done.
I honestly think Big Stack, the new entrant, I think he's going to be dangerous. He's got
I like what he did. Okay, so that's my favorite team. My initial reaction when I looked, I was like, well, Jokic made it easy, and then he actually just kind of doubled down on the strength, which was nice.
And because of the 4-5, he can play Jokic as power forward, which is actually a cheat. And then he can get Vooch and other real centers. He's got a good. He's gonna be good. And that's a very non-injured team too.
Except for Zion.
Except for the guy that's injured already.
Yeah.
Well,
with mysterious foot ailments.
He's got no guards. So if somebody does get hurt, he's gonna be dropping people very fast. He is so overweight on centers.
Well,
he's got no bench.
I think he's gonna have to do that real soon.
I'm gonna be proffering various trades very quickly.
With
in
your
that
lack
direction.
of point guard, are you going to
Yes.
trade your lack of point guards for his lack of point guards?
No, I want one of his centers. I have my plethora of wings. Tobias Harris is on the block for all interested parties.
Oh man.
Well, and I don't know.
Already chucking him, man. More eight.
I feel like he has the best value where I can get good value. You know.
So
Throwing him
Jokic and
under the
Zion are
bus.
my favorite players to watch are Jokic and Zion in the league. He's got some players that are like, what are you doing? Like he's got Zubac and Jared Allen. I mean, come on. The fact that he's around 4 in this league is ridiculous.
He's also $100 million man, according to the real NBA.
No.
No.
I mean, he is.
No.
So Joe knows better.
He is a starting center in Cleveland, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's gonna be weird. That team is like the real life equivalent of some of these teams with like centers.
I cannot believe Mike took Mobley. That was the worst rookie pick, I think, of the draft. I project that he's getting dropped like week 2.
If this was a keeper league, it might be the best pick, but
sure,
maybe not for. Depends on what if he could hold him on the bench for a little while. I'm as high as anybody on Mobley, maybe in the world, and so I think he's going to be a monster. But
not this season, like because of
probably
Allen
not right
though.
away.
Yeah, but because of Allen, like his ceiling this season is rotation at best. Like he can't.
He can play the 4.
Can he? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case,
He can guard guards. That's like his big draw. Is that he's a center who can guard guards.
Mm.
And
I had him queued up that round. In
can't
fact,
beat that. I don't know how good he'll be in fantasy, but
I had him queued up
he's
that
the guy
round
who will
and
win
then
games.
and then he picked him, and then I picked the next guy, which would happen to be Wendell Carter Jr. off of the Magic. Just ironically, I offered him straight up for him because he said that he was regretting it, and he's declined it. So he's like doubling down on because I was like,
he's convicted.
yeah, I was like, you made a mistake. Like, you should have drafted Carter, and then he's like, no, there's too many Magic players. He actually said it.
How could he have too many Magic?
He also had Bamba. You can't take Bamba and Carter. That's just
Magic
beyond
did?
the pale.
The
No,
Magic
but like
did?
fine. But like I mean, same thing with with Cleveland. They still have Love and Mobley and like
They
obviously
only
people are
have
getting
Love
traded.
because no one will take him from them.
Yeah, I had Bomber on my personal ranks ranked at 101. So what are they going to get drafted by me?
Well, all right. So I
I
think
approve of how deep you went on these rankings.
I went 105.
It's also like if you did go that deep, you have a lot to lose now with these confessions
yes,
of your nerdery.
I'm gonna be cutting this
So
one up.
beware.
Definitely cutting this episode up.
What do I have to lot to lose? I don't get it.
Well, I'm
Anyway.
looking forward to the season. I do appreciate that more people in the league are understanding the idiosyncrasies of the league. I appreciate that. I am actually
I appreciate you guys not moving up the draft a week, 2 days before. I really appreciate that. So I had time to prep. Thank you. That happened last year.
Still holding on to something. Man.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I honestly don't remember this, whatever it was at all.
You moved the draft up a week because you're
Whatever.
I was like,
Anyway.
I can't do it. No,
Yep,
right.
that's why you drafted.
Well, no, I did some prep this year. 'cause I had
Anyway,
time.
good. That's what I'm saying. Good. So all good. I hope there's more trades. I think there will be more trades because there are a lot of fun lineups right now.
There's definitely got to be something's got to give on some of these teams.
Yes. And I think as soon as the injury train starts, there's going to be a lot of very interesting drops. that the waivers
that's
are
the
going
other
to be.
thing. We're 2 teams more shallow, so there's more people out there, which is helpful.
That's true.
I remember by the end of last year, if like you lost, I remember I was playing you in the final, and like a whole bunch of my guys were hurt, and it's just like there's nothing here. Like every person I'm gonna pick up is like 4 points per game and like bad percentages and is trash. So at least like you have some options this time. So I'm happy about that.
I think that's true. It'll be good. All right, Joe, since you won't be on next week is our general prediction show. What hot predictions do you have either for the league or for the real league 2021-2022 NBA season? What do you got?
I think Mike's going to be last again in the league, second year in a row.
All right, good, strong starting take.
That's a take.
I'm not saying I have the best team. I feel really good about my draft though, way better than last year, and I do feel like I'm not only built for the playoffs, but I'm built for the whole season this year, which is
Ooh, I have so many sound bites to pull off this episode.
Well, no, I'm excited to see what happens
though.
week one because I am playing Nat week one.
That'll be interesting.
Right out of the gate, I'm playing one of the Godfathers. So
I'm pretty sure that we have the same schedule from last year because I'm pretty sure I played you week one of last year.
I randomized it twice.
Oh, okay.
No,
And it's 10 teams, so it couldn't have.
I
And
played
new
the
players.
boy week one last year.
Okay, that's right. It was just the emotional stake that I had in the game.
Yeah.
That makes
I played the boy.
I appreciate your mild humbleness and growth. That's good.
No, I just feel good about it, and I like my balance. I feel like I balanced my team really well, and so I'm proud of myself.
Nice. It's not really a prediction, but I'm happy that you feel proud of yourself.
Do you have a real life basketball prediction that you would like to offer?
Lakers have no chance of winning, maybe even one series.
Oh,
and I'm saying that
you're right.
Unless
I love this prediction.
I hate the Lakers. I'm a Laker hater, but I also.
Oh, me too. We all are.
I feel like they just. I mean, like, what were they doing when they built this team? Unless
they're so old,
takes over, and just is otherworldly. It's just like, and AD plays every game and decides not to be the most soft player in the league.
My theory with that team is such, and I was going to say this next week, but Westbrook, and maybe I'm looking at this too rosy and assuming that he would actually understand this role. But I feel like what they did is they brought him in to basically be the man for the regular season while LeBron and Davis play like 2 out of every 4 games. And like he goes and scores triple doubles every night, gets them to like a 5 seed, and then they are all healthy and fresh, and they come in and crush, and Westbrook suddenly learns how to move without the ball. This is all very rosy and probably not going to happen, but I think that's might have been the thinking behind it.
I like this prediction. I want to put a pin in this because I want to talk about this like week 2. I want to see a week of Laker ball, and I want to see how hilariously ridiculous this team is.
I'll come back week 2 because that's 3 weeks from now or 4 weeks from now. So I'll come back then. We'll talk.
I want to see because I think we should be very quickly validated. And
I would love to talk more Laker hate with you. So
Yes.
anyway, that's one thing. I think the Warriors are going to be a sneaky playoff team, like creep in and then could do some damage because those young bigs could get enough legs under them.
If Clay is functional when he comes back, oh my, the team is going to be really good.
Yeah, if he's like 80% of himself, that's the top 4 seed probably.
And the fact that Wiggins finally got poked was good too.
That does help them.
That's what you said.
We didn't talk about that at all.
We talked about it last week. Like,
yeah, we did. It's just I can't get enough of it. It's just so insane. I can't.
I just love that. Yeah, I just love that people weren't getting vaccinated. And then T-Zach and I were in the chat the whole night. And I was like, "Oh, you drafted him? He's unvaccinated." And he's like, "He looks like really? Oh, I would have drafted him."
Yeah, that's what I said to him when he drafted Porter. I was like, "You didn't realize he's gotten COVID 3 times." And
I lost the plot. I got distracted.
And you're still like, I'm fine with him at that point. And I was like, it's 2 rounds earlier than in my rankings, and he's unvaccinated.
We'll see. I'm not mad. I think it'll be
yet.
I have already admitted I need to make some trades. It's fine.
That was one of the things I looked on Reddit the week before was for unvaccinated players because there's like 2 threads and you could just kind of go to them.
You could have just came and listened to our show last week.
Hater of the show.
I didn't listen to the show until
we know.
I cited who a bunch of the unvaccinated players were. Anyway,
I think. Did you have something else, Nat, or should we wrap this lovely post-draft preseason?
Well, no, I'll do more predictions. I think the Blazers didn't make enough moves, and
I'll agree with you on that one.
Wow. Ice water take there.
Well, no, but I've been rooting for them because they're in the Northwest here, and my Sonics got stolen. So I'm just I'm still like I'm rooting for them because they're the game that I can watch on. It wasn't until this year until they screwed up their TV contract. But I mean, the team I used to be able to watch before the TV contract got screwed up, and so I'm disappointed because Dame deserves more, and their GM
Agreed.
is trash. The GM is the worst.
He is. They'll be a 5 or 6 seed and lose in the first round again, and we'll have to do this all over next summer.
I think they'll make the playoffs, but they're not. Yeah, they could easily implode this season too.
I mean, unless Chauncey is like the greatest thing that's ever happened from a coaching perspective, that's like basically their only upside, and he could be good, but like, you know,
I think he will be good.
All it takes is that, like, I mean, like that's basically what happened with Golden State is they had the pieces in place and they got the coach who put them in the right spot, and then they were really good. That is not going to happen in Portland because they are not that good. But you know, it can
have a good defense, and I don't know if Nance is the skeleton key for the defense. Like
he's not enough, but man, if they had somehow ended up with Simmons, like a Dame, Norm, Rocco, Nance, Simmons defensive lineup would have crushed.
Oh, I'm sure that you know CJ and a couple of the pieces were thrown out there. Philly just is waiting for something they're never going to get. So
yeah, they wanted like the best trade ever for a guy who only plays one side of the ball.
His value is so down from the playoffs that they're never going to get what they want. That's why.
Yep.
Another thing going back to the draft, I was like, they're not going to trade him. I just realized a couple of months ago, like August, you're like, there's no way. You keep hearing the offers.
Oh, it's less at this point a trade question, more of like, is he literally going to put on a jersey question, right? Like it moves.
I'm really curious what his level of effort is going to be. Like, is he gonna play hard because he wants to like raise his value, which actually behooves him not to do, because then you have to give up more for him to play on the team.
Right, but
if he sandbag and like fuck the whole franchise because he's like secretly been hatching this plan all summer where he's like, oh yeah, I'll come back, and they'll see what happens.
I would do the bare minimum. If I'm truly just in a point where I hate everybody and I've already thrown everybody under the bus, I'm showing up, I'm running half speed.
Mm-hmm.
You can put me out if you want. I'm gonna do some shit. I'm gonna just drive I'm just gonna drive the hoop every time I get the ball.
Well, and that's why, from a basketball perspective, I think they're gonna find out in practice how serious he is right away. And if he's gonna be like a Kyrie, they're gonna bench him just like Kyrie.
Perfect.
And so there's gonna be like, yeah,
for him.
You know what I mean? Like, but yeah. So I feel like my team's deep enough. I can deal with that. It's fine.
Well, I mean, that takes your team from being fine to like him playing at full speed. Your team's very, 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 very good. Him not playing, your team's fine, right? Like that's that. Yeah, that's the difference of that.
Definitely the X factor.
I still feel like my team is a playoff team.
Yeah, I mean, as it is usually, I think there's a lot of teams that are very decently constructed enough that like it'll come down to. We're gonna have a lot of matchup weeks.
I think it comes down to Tyrese Halliburton in the 5th round.
No, it won't. But like, gonna come down to who stays healthy, and
I got the Bluebird.
There it is. It's gonna come down to who stays healthy, and there's gonna be a lot of matchup weeks. I think, because there are so many unbalanced teams. Like, it's gonna be a lot of like your team's weak rebounds. You play the big rebound guy. And they also just have a good week on point, some other thing, right? There's going to be a lot of those weeks. So I think we're actually going to have a pretty parity league this season because of that. That's my prediction.
My prediction is whoever is healthiest wins. That's
boring.
Pretty hot take right
boring.
there.
That's true, though. Hey, I have a league question, which I'll get to after the pod ends.
Okay.
Don't hang up on me.
Okay.
Hang up on him now.
I think that's the best time to stop. We're already thinking about the things to talk about after this is done. So, all right, we're gonna cut it down. I'm looking forward to the league starting. I'm looking forward to the beginning of the season because it's already too cold and dark here, and I need something to be excited about.
Dude, it was like below 90 today, and I've been freezing all day.
It was 38 degrees last night. 38 degrees.
Yeah, it sounds about the same, like 88.
Cue up John Tesh. Boom. Let's go.